Alright, starting with a good fighting stance, just like Johnny's already showed you, make sure you incorporate all this into your mitt hitting drills. That's the most important thing. Hitting mitts is time for working a lot of technique. So just a basic rundown of our stance. You know, I have one leg slightly in front of the other. I need a good starting position, is making sure my knee can touch the back of my heel, my chin's down, my shoulders up. Your weight is a little bit more on your toes and over your lead leg. Here, when I move forward, remember my front foot moves first. I want to try to always keep my feet low to the floor so I'm gliding. My feet never come together. Elbows in, shoulders up. Moving forward, moving left, moving right, moving backwards. And we're going to incorporate all this into hitting mitts. Okay. All right, let's talk about the guy that's holding mitts for a little bit. And you know, generally when you're holding mitts and you don't want a guy to throw a punch, he's going to keep the mitts down. So always make sure the mitts are down after they're done being hit. So if he holds up a jab, I'm going to hit, and he drops it right back down. And I'm always hitting the cross mitt. That way I'm making sure my shoulders are coming up. I'm keeping my offhand by my chin. Make sure you start out slow on everything you do and work on your technique first. Also, again, you know, he holds up the other hand, I'm going to hit a cross. Notice he's not holding the pads ridiculously far away from his body. He's kind of keeping them towards the center line. You want to make it realistic as to where you're fighting like one person. Now, I also want to work on timing my hands and feet landing together for my maximum power. So when he holds up the jab, when my jab lands, my foot should land here. Straight out, straight back. On all your steps generally. Your hands and feet, the purpose of hitting mitts is to coordinate that hands and feet landing together. The second kind of purpose of mitts is to make sure you're always wise of your own range. It kind of helps you practice keeping somebody at the ends of your punches and things. So if my partner were to take a step back, it's my job to always be able, first of all, I want to keep this distance between our feet, but to always be able to keep him at jab range. So if he backs up and holds the mitt, I advance and I keep him at, I make sure I have this good jab range. I'm not too close, I'm not too far away. I'm in range where I can hit him with the end of my jab. Maybe he moves forward. I back up. He moves back. He moves left or right. And notice I'm just following him. So the purpose of mitts is work on this footwork. You know, you shouldn't be calling out too many things. You want to leave it to the person striking mitts to see the target and hit the target. See the target and hit the target. The less really you say, the better mitt work is. Okay.
On.
All right, utilizing all the strikes that you basically learned in SSGT, you know, there's several different ways you can hold the mitts to be able to do the strike. For instance, if my partner holds up the target for an elbow, remember, keep in mind, I always want to keep him at jab range, but he holds up an elbow. I can't get him with the elbow, so I'm going to lunge in to elbow range and move back out to jab range when that mitt drops down. So he holds up the elbow, move back out to jab range. That way, I'm always ready. I should always be ready to throw my jab, because your jab is your #1 tool. Again, you know, with anything like knees, he holds up a knee, move into knee range, back out to jab range. Move in, back out, move in, move in. Okay. Now let's keep it rolling, and we'll talk about slipping punches a little bit. So there should be a lot of movement during hitting mitts. You know, generally, let's just do some practice to start with. He holds up the mitts. There should be a lot of movement. We're moving all around the room. Always lead with your jab. But we're moving around the room. We should cover a lot of distance during this whole thing because I want to be working on my footwork primarily, my feet and my hands working together. Timing slips. This is another thing you can incorporate, a basic thing you can incorporate into your mitt hitting, and it will get you a lot of good head movement. So during hitting mitts, I should always keep my body moving, keeping everything loose so I can hit strongly. And so I can be ready to move. But if my partner decides at any time to throw his hand at my face, I need to be ready to move out of the way. And notice I move to the outside. That way when I move to the outside, I'm away from the hand that he has back. And then I'm just going to move right back. Okay, so this whole time we're hitting this. He may swing. I want to make sure I move to the outside. Moving to the inside is fine. The most important thing is moving out of the way. And I want to, again, practicing slipping and things. You don't want to slip real big. You want to slip close to that punch. That way, he's within range to be able to hit. So you're getting a lot of work in with your footwork, your range, drilling your strikes that you've been working on, but also working on breathing as you're striking. But you're also getting good head movement drills in as well.